Good morning. Hello. Happy Thursday. I haven't heard back yet from about the old course and CRM, so we're gonna continue on here. Although to be fair, I only did upload it yesterday, and so I wasn't able to get it out to those comments until last night. So not entirely that surprising either. So maybe this weekend we'll have some more information. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, so I need to remember exactly where we were, but I think we set our test to fail at a specific spot, which is going to be at the course. Author can add articles. So let's run these tests and find out. There was a problem loading the course. Well, it's not what I wanted. Try it again. Yeah, so is that when I go straight to the course? No, I'm going to slash. Oh, I am going straight to courses. Get by you, get by the roll course articles, and then I was get a problem link in the course. Okay, so I want to check to see if this is a real problem. So if I'm here, courses, oh, I need to be logged in. So let's try this again. Go to courses, that course. Okay, so this is fine here, which means that it's probably a test data problem. Let's see what the problem was. So specifically here, error getting course could not find course. Which think I think is because we're not providing some course information. I want to say that must be it. Oh, an empty request body. That doesn't seem right for a post to GraphQL. And that one has also empty. Okay, maybe not a problem then. All right, so this specifically, when we move on to here, we get those two requests. So if we're here, there, okay, so debugging time. We head over here. We get we get three requests, four requests. So that could also be a potential problem too. All right, so this one gives us LMS articles. So I think that one is probably working, right? Yeah, so there's the LMS articles. This one is also LMS articles. Two of them. It's probably due to that use effect. That might need to be rewritten. Okay, LMS courses by primary key. that's why it works. It works because I already had it, but it didn't make the request. And because it didn't make the request, it sort of made it a little bit tough for it to do the thing that we were expecting it to do. And then are you also... Yeah, so it did it each one twice here. So you have the course. There was a problem loading the course. That was the getting the course by ID. That's what it was. Because I didn't... Yeah, okay. So we're gonna start running into more and more of these issues. So I think we have to start... I think we have to figure that out sooner than later. So our end-to-end tests. Now I have these utils here, but I think I might want to do this separately. I'm not completely sure. Let's create a new file. This might need to be complex. This might be complex enough that it needs a new folder. So let's create a new folder. And we're going to call this is going to be like our mock data. Oh, you know what? We can call this the GraphQL interceptor. Is it OR or ER? That looks more correct. All right, that could be a TS file. Oh, wait, that's a folder. Okay, just go to that. And then we can touch an index.ts in there. We can head in here and start creating this. This is going to be, we're going to need a function that takes in a, I guess it's going to be like the intercept object. So we're going to have an export, async await, so an async function. This is going to be, I guess, like intercept GraphQL request. That's not how we do it in JavaScript. So now we're going to return a promise of some kind, and something goes in here. So right now it's going to be void, but we're going to have to put we have to put something inside of it. And it's going to change, right? It's going to depend upon what's coming in. All right. Well, I should be able to have it do like a route type thing. So I can have maybe like a page object. So we can have a page, and you're a page interface here. And so if that's the case, we can do wait. Yeah, I actually might not need to officially return anything here. Wait, page dot route. Then we have the GraphQL. Okay, we can go and get that. All right, so we create our callback function here, so we get our route. Now we have to check to see what's passing in, what's happening. I think we can console log in here. I don't remember if I can actually see like what that is. Essentially, I need to see the request we're passing in to know which thing to pass out. Okay, so I think it's gonna be like the body. So that okay, so for the request, oh, because you're a function, post data JSON. Okay, I think that's what I want. You become an any, which makes it really hard for me to see what you are. Okay, so if I do a console log of body, now I want to call this from the other files. So I've uh, okay, this is intercept GraphQL. So if I head back over to end-to-end courses, let's go down to the one we've been working on, which is this one right here. We have several places where we're doing the intercept, and I don't think that's really helpful. So let's okay, after we log in, yeah, then we have this like course mock data. So let's do another interceptor right here. Um intercept pass in the page. We have to await. Now I don't know if I'm going to see the console in here. I think I've tried this before and it did not work. I have to run it in the command line to see it. Oh, I can just hover over it and see. Okay. I want to say that this is a console log from the browser. So these are not my logs. Can I see them in here? Don't think that's what I want. I mean, maybe that's what I want. Okay, so I don't think it shows up in here. So I think what I can do is we're going to come up to this test and put a dot only on it. I am going to exit out of view, and we're gonna run these ourselves. So we're gonna do an npm. If I can just do npm test and it just runs them. Yeah, I think this will work. So CLI test, I think that I can get the console log out of. Okay, so that's waiting for line 102. Not getting any console log. So 102 is down here. Okay, so we did intercept GraphQL. Was that the wrong function? Did I get the wrong one? Oh, intercept GraphQL. Okay, and at the very top. Oh yeah, import intercept GraphQL from GraphQL interceptor. The index.th, it sort of automatically grabs from that. That should be fine. Okay. So it should be running. All right. Next thing. What if I no, not that. What if I select all of these things and comment you out? Londo Spark, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, there's no log. Let's try this. Okay, so getting creating route interceptor. LMS is okay. I'm running into basically now I need to do something fun with tests. Basically, we need to create like a more centralized interceptor because it's just starting to cause problems. Ooh, okay. So creating route interceptor. So that console log works, which means the console log that's happening here does not work. All right, let's try this again. So if I head into here, so I have this console log message body. If I create a note for this, this would be request body. Oh, it's also for GraphQL. So are you saying that you don't hit that? It should hit that. Oh, I may need to wait. Okay, I may need to wait. Yeah, okay. So that means this code isn't being run. So if that code's not running, that means it's not intercepting on this GraphQL URI, which means that either can't. basically this thing, right? So we're trying to send here, and it's not. So I need to head back to end-to-end tests versus. So intercept that. I don't want to intercept you. I want to go to /courses and wait until network idle. Okay, so I want to do that. That hopefully should get it. Let's find out. I'm also worried about like creating multiple routes over this. I think it overwrites. I wouldn't be surprised if it overwrites. So then this one would just disappear. There we go. Okay, so in the request body, we can see an object with the variables and the query. So specifically, okay, so that's perfect. Now it looks like the query is a string, like a full string. So we need to maybe JSON parse it to get access to that. Oh, and we can intercept the operation name too. All right. So I want operation name out of this. Let's copy you. And that's in the root of it, right? That's just in the root of the. Okay, so we have request body and then, okay, variables, query, and then operation name, right? So cost, operation name. Actually, I can extract this out, can't I, here? Now we know that this is going to be a string. Once I have that operation name, I want to fulfill or I want to intercept based upon what that is. Probably also based upon if it's going to be a mutation or a query. Am I able to see that? Yeah, there's going to be this query here, so let's also grab a query. So this is going to be a string. Now, if I want the actual like, oh, I can't do a full query because it's not really JSON, so I can't really do like a JSON parse on it because that's not valid. The first, I need to check to see if is it mutation or mutate. I don't remember anymore. Here we can go check Asura. It's mutation. Okay, so if I want to check to see if we're going to do mutation or not, I want to see. Okay, so const is query. It's going to be equal to. So I want to check to see if the word mutation is in the query. So I think we can do, because it's a string, do query dot. What? You don't give me any suggestions? Includes index of has. All right. I forget for JavaScript how to do this. It is string mdn string. Let's just go to the prototype. So they have search. Search for a regular expression. Oh, that could potentially work. So if I were to grab this entire thing out, so let's grab the full string. Ah, okay, you. Okay, so const query equals this entire thing. It's creating all these pluses form. Oh, but it's all a single string with all of these. That's not cool. Can I? Oh, this is okay. So beginning ending string. So it's properly doing this. That's lovely. So we have you, and then I want to search for whether or not this is a mutation or not. There are spaces and tabs in the indentation. Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? Did it copy that? That's literally in the string here. Why would you do that? Okay. It won't matter for It won't matter for the purposes of what we're looking into. I want to check to see if this giant string is includes a query or a mutation, and so it's either going to be query or mutation like that. From what we can see here, so I want a regular expression. So I want to console log um, includes mutation, and this would be query.search. Now I want a regular expression, and this regular expression is going to be, I think, it's been a while. I think it starts with mutation space. I think that's what it is. So if I do that, that's -1. If we switch you over to mutation, that's 0. Okay, so that's the index of where that starts. That's great. Now if we put this back to query and I just throw in a mutation here, that's also -1. Just to make sure I'm not crazy about that, let's take U off, and now that shows 40. So that is a starts with. Okay. So then I want this to be, okay, so if you are is greater than or equal to 0, that is our Boolean, false or true. So that's the only thing I really care about here. So okay, we have is query equals. We're gonna do query.search for the beginning of the string being mutation, and that is greater than or equal to 0. So if that's true, okay, so this actually is mutation now. Okay. I'm not trying to redeclare you as a string. I'm trying to tell you what you are. Do you not need? Do you know what this is? How do I set the type in here? Can I not set the type when I'm dereferencing? Lon, you haven't been here much, but is this still in the U Rust backend? Sort of, yes. So I have a testing system set up in Playwright, and that is TypeScript. So we're writing TypeScript here for the testing service, and I'm specifically writing a GraphQL interceptor to send back. So yeah, today is TypeScript, but the backend that actually runs is in U and Rust. Okay, so we now know if you're a mutation. So we're going to do one of two different things depending upon if you're a mutation. So that's probably okay to have an if statement. So we're going to do if is mutation, and we'll do one set of things. Otherwise, we'll do another set of things. Okay, so if you're a mutation, we know that we don't want to, I mean, we're going to fulfill, I think, either way, but we also want to check to see if what you're sending out is proper. And that's going to be like dependent upon what's going on. So if we're just looking at like what we have right now, uh, let's do, I think I can do it's window. No, it's space window. That's it. Let's do a split down here. I want to go to end-to-end test courses again. All right, so right now I want to fix it up just for this test. So I can remove that only too. Okay, so I log in. And I think it's fine to sort of like have that do its own thing still. We run our interceptor, and now we go to courses. And normally, okay, we want to return the course list mock data. Okay, and we can see what happens here. So if we go straight to courses, we're going to see a single get request. We're going to see a single request, and this is what it is. We see, oh, that's the response. The request, we're going to see the query operation name list LMS courses. Let's now grab that out. So we have this okay, so we have the operation name. I'm thinking now we have a lookup table, and then we run a function to get back the mock data that we want here. So we're gonna have a const. This will be mock data list LMS courses, and that's going to be, I guess right now it returns those other list LMS courses that we had. LMS articles, mock data. Oh, I want to have this be a function. So we've taken that, and then we're going to turn LMS. Oh, that's courses. I think that's it, right? List LMS courses. Okay. So if I do oh, and I think are you a function? You are not a function. So you're just a constant. Okay, so I return this. Now I can say, all right, we've got you. Let's go ahead and we will route dot fulfill JSON. Now you don't return this, so we're going to just say, okay, we have data, and then inside of that is going to be the mock data, call the operation name, and run it as a function. And therefore, the TS is just for testing. No, the TS is for TypeScript. So the language that we're using for the testing library is written, well, has allows us to write in TypeScript. So we still get to have strong type systems. It was going to be either TypeScript or JavaScript. So I chose TypeScript for it. Okay, so you're happy there. And then if I do window down, yeah. Okay, so I run the intercept. That should intercept this thing here. And then I go to courses and we wait until network idle. I should now be able to get by text URS, click first. And then, okay, and then we're going to have other stuff happen. But I want, oh, you were using it as a shorthand for TypeScript. Okay, sorry. I got confused. Probably me just being tired. Uh, yeah, the TypeScript is just for testing. Yes, it's for running the Playwright testing framework thingy. So let's relaunch the tests, but in a nice way. Oh, come on. npm run. Maybe the test UI. So this is our testing system here. I don't know if you've seen it, but this is the Playwright. Um, you know that feeling all too well. Yeah, it's the problem of doing it in the morning for me. Is sometimes it's like, what? Yeah. So Playwright, if you haven't looked at it or you haven't looked at it recently, has changed quite a bit. Okay, here, perfect. So I now see. So we load. We do the entire authentication thing. Here I am. I'm an author and I'm learner. I'm in slash. I go to courses. It fulfills. So I see the network. Is that the right one? Oh, it's route fulfill. Okay. So route fulfill, two routes get fulfilled here. And now I have u.rs. Mm. Yes, by default, it's headless actually. So by default, it runs in CI/CD just fine. I was having a little bit of trouble getting it to pass everything, but I think that's more of like how I'm setting it up than anything else. So it has a headless version by default, and also by default, it runs on all the major browser engines. So right now we're only seeing the Firefox engine, but it's also running them on Chrome and WebKit. So that's something nice to see. Okay, so can I do oh add article? There we go. Now I can only see that one. So I could then say, hey, show me all of these, and it will run on Chrome, Firefox, and WebKit. Make sure that it's running everywhere the way we expect it to. Okay, so I'm able to successfully get that. Great. Now, something I also did notice, trying to fulfill, I was trying to get this user info, which you're failing, right? I'm not seeing. Yeah, I'm not seeing a response to that. Or is that because you're getting like a 400 error? Okay, status 200. Status 200 with that too. Okay. That is something. Oh, so I'm not fulfilling for you. That might be good for me to grab. Because when I do the go to again, it does the go to separately. I guess like the intercept. Oh, because the intercept, I do set up a route intercept here in login, so that's fine. So this is just intercept GraphQL. That's all I care about here. That's fine. So it is working as expected. Okay, so I get this text. Then I want to create an article. We get okay. So that's going to be interesting. So I create the article. Now this one is like creating mock data from the articles. So I think I want to change that to be like passing into the interceptor. Or I'm not going to do it as random anymore. Maybe that's what I have to do is I have to just not do it as random, or have like just certain things be fine. So if I don't create the mock data like this, okay. So the next page route is I'm going to find. Hold on, let's undo my deleted there. Okay, so this is the next thing that I'm trying to do. Let's run this again. Okay, so we get our timed out. So I find this first Yew course and I click on it. It takes me to here. I find this course articles link and I click it. And then I expect. Yeah, then I'm expecting certain articles to be visible now. The problem being, of course, that I don't have any of those articles, and I think that if I want to create like a decentralized thing, it's gonna be a little bit more tough. Now, what is this? This is network-wise. Oh, I don't think you're gonna show it. Fine, I'll go and do this myself. All right, so I'm an author and learner. I come to this course. I click on you. We have get LMS article titles. We also have course by ID. So we have get LMS article titles, course by ID, and then does that repeat? Get LMS article titles, course by ID. I think it repeats because of my uh because of my what is it called? Use effect is doing it twice because I'm trying to be not like it's like I was trying to make it a little bit shorter and I think that's not happy. So depending upon the race, it runs it twice or it runs each one at least once. I guess it's like it's an at least once situation. So we have two things now. We have get LMS article titles. So if I copy you, so I have you, and you return that. And then we also have another one here. Course by ID. Okay, so I want to grab this out. I want to do something with this. So get LMS article titles. If I want to create that, we need to go and potentially like change that up. So let's maybe create another file for the article titles. What do I want to put that? Maybe like split down. So if I go window down, window right, V. So end-to-end tests, mock data. Okay, so this is going to be the get articles, which I think is near the bottom. Okay, those are create articles. Okay, here's almost articles mock data. Now I want to create a new file. Let's call this touch get articles. Maybe I'll name it after the type. So it's gonna be get LMS article titles.ts. I suppose this could also be JS too. That might make more sense. Oh, sorry, to be JSON. Because I want to return this data here. Right, so I'll just take this entire data. We'll yank you. Come up here. We'll do another split right. That was down. I want a split V. Right, there we go. All right, end-to-end tests. The GraphQL. There we go. So, not that one. That one. All right, so I don't need this data. Just need you. Don't think I need you. What? Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, you need to be wrapped around. So that's an entire thing. So we need it's map surround quotes. Okay, so we have to just create this manually. So So you're going to be an object. We're going to have a key with LMS articles inside. And then inside of there, okay, we're going to have created at. And we need some kind of date here. So if I want, I think I can make this whatever I feel like, right? So let's actually do a query and find out what it actually looks like. Actually, we can see here, can't we? So this is get the LMS articles. Response is going to look like this. So here's a created at. Okay. ID. So let's just change that to 0. And then title, we can do this as just like, I don't know, hello Rust as like the first title. So I think that's, oh, you are going to be an array, aren't you? Okay, so if I do that, I can yank you. Actually, let's do like that. I can yank you, put a comment in, paste you in. Okay, so we do another, let's say you're the next day. So the next day, we have ID1. Actually, I think databases always start with like 1, 2, and 3, right? So we should start that. And then we can do like, I don't know, hello. Oh, that didn't do what I expected to. I did 2W and that did not select twice. Okay, so I want why like how to learn. Okay, so if I do those two things, okay, so I've also saved you, right? Yeah. So window, let's come back over here. So get LMS articles. I want to now return. Oh, but it won't know what that is. So I have to import it first. Neochromer, hello. And LMS stands for Learning Management System. So yeah, exactly. You got it. Think if you ever use something like Blackboard or let's see, what are other some like famous ones? Udemy, um, Linda, like that the most important job they do, Moodle, um, most important job they do is to like have like connect students with the content. Uh, do I write the web server in Rust? Yes. So I guess in this case, well, the web server part of this, no, that's not in Rust. At least I don't think it is, because it's Yew. So we're using Yew.rs as the front end framework. So it gives me like a bunch of static files, like WebAssembly files. It gives me HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript files. I then I deploy them onto S3, AWS S3, and then I have a CloudFront uh, CDN, I think, or CloudFront distribution that then serves those up. So CloudFront is my server. No, so I'm not using Axum for this. If I do need a server, I will use Axum. And then my database layer is Hasura. And so that's a third-party tool that I've been using a lot recently. I really like it a lot. But it basically creates all the GraphQL types for me. So I don't have to do any work, and it connects to a Postgres database. So basically, I can have a Postgres database. I have Hasura, and then I have my front end. And so far, I haven't needed to do a back end, and then I could probably do Lambda functions for a lot of my back end technologies. Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is running locally in a Docker image. One of the reasons I really like it is I can run this just locally on my own system if I want. I pointed it at my local Postgres that I have in Docker, so it's all just sort of local test stuff. And now I can write, and I didn't have to do any work really to get it set up. I just say, hey, here's my database, and so it found all the tables for me. It sets everything up, and now I can just write queries. So if you're familiar with them, I can just say, okay, query, I want LMS. Oh, it's the name of the query. So this will be like get articles, LMS articles, and I want the ID, I want the title, I want created at. So if I do that, I now see them. You've never written Rust yet. You're more of a TypeScript Go guy in the cloud. You feel Rust would take you too much time to get productive with it. When you have Go TS to write everything you need. I mean, that's the big thing. It's like if it's solving your needs, then yeah, it's like it's working, right? How complex can you make this? You're starting to wonder if you need a full back end for what you're doing. So I guess ask a question. Like because I'm not exactly sure what complexity would solve that for you. So ask a question, and then we'll see whether or not Hasura can do it. Or at least if I'm aware that Hasura could do it. All right. And in the meantime, while I'm waiting, let's continue on. So I want to import this. So this is going to be import LMS articles data from that. Yes, I know, I'm not used to you. So LMS articles mock data, and then this is what we return. LMS articles mock data. There we go. So you return that now. And then we need to do course by ID next. So essentially, you're going to be doing mainly CRUD. With a little scheduling over the top, we'll need to have decent role-based auth based on Discord roles and logins if possible. But you could forgo that if it needs to be. Since you'll need a cloud function for the Discord connections that you need to make. Okay, so the Hasura won't be like a 100% replace for a backend, but it can. I wish I had like a whiteboard at the ready with like a camera pointing at it. I might be able to do that. I don't know if you'll be able to see it though. Uh, Let me try taking Zilby Cam because he's not here. That's it. Probably can do a lot of what you need. Oh, I don't even have. Well, whatever. You'll see that other thing. I could try that, but let's try this. I've wanted like to actually use a real whiteboard for a while again. So if I do cat cam, it kind of works. It's like a little bit. It's a little bit far away. So if I do that, and we do I have like a cat only? Large cat. Are you okay? I'm. Is that backwards? I think that's okay. I don't know if you can like see this. I wrote like courses in store. Like I think you can read the font. I don't have a black pen though. So let's try making it bigger. That's not backwards. Perfect. Okay, so I guess like the other thing will be the audio. I need. You might become farther away. Oh, sounds like you can. Oh no, it becomes quiet if I go too far away. Okay, so we have our database here. So this will be our DB. Okay, cool. You can see that. So we have our database, and what we want Hasura to be is a sort of like a DB, like an API for the database. So we'll call this like the data API layer. The thing is that it can do a lot more than just connect to the database. So it has a connection to the database like this. And then your app goes here and connects to there. Now, if you need any other information, like you need like any other functionality that Hasura can't do, you use it as an API layer. So let's say you need a Lambda function to do those Discord sort of connections and anything else, you put that over here. So maybe we do like a Discord logic. That goes here, and then the API layer, it's there. So Hasura takes care of hitting that for you. And the way it does that is through these actions. So actions here, we hit GraphQL, and GraphQL then goes in and does the things for me. So for example, if I create a new action here, it allows me to say, okay, this is what it's going to look like from the API point of view. I define the types it is, but then I say, hey, you know what? You're going to send a post request to here. So, go off to Discord, go off to like a Lambda function that you have, go off and do something else. It's going to be asynchronous or synchronous, forward client headers if you want, or define brand new headers. So that way you can put like secret keys inside of Hasura and your app doesn't need to know about them whatsoever. Okay, then I want to transform it. I don't want it to be a post request. It's always a post request. Let's make it a get request or a put request or a delete. I want to change the URL that it's going to. So you can do that. I want to change or add query parameters. I want to change the payload as it's heading out to the API. And then finally, I want to change the payload as it's coming back to the client. So all of these are available. So for example, I have create account and get Twitch VODs, which I don't want to show because I think I have some secret stuff in some of the headers things. And that will basically, like, the create account allows me to send from my client directly a message to Auth0, but I go through it. I go through Hasura. So it's really, really, really cool. And I haven't played with it. Well, okay. There's a couple other things. So you want authentication. Well, so here in LMS articles, we have permissions here. If you have no role, so if you don't have an XSR admin secret or an authorization token with the appropriate key, for example, I have this bear token right here. That tells Hasura what role I have. And then I can say, okay, well, based upon the role that you have, this is what you're allowed to do. So an admin is the, super admin. That's root, essentially. It can do everything. But we can say that, like, public, for example, public is the role of, like, you don't have a role. Like, you're you're nobody. You're anonymous. You can't do anything. You can't even select any of the data. An author can insert, but I have this little, an author can select everything. An author can get everything. But an author can only insert into the title and the content columns directly. Can't set the ID, can't set created at. Those are get set by default. So I have some protections on for myself. And then there's other things I can do. Like I can say, okay, well, I have to I can't, I think I can set some presets for some of the stuff. I haven't really gotten to that yet. We're probably going to have to get there eventually. So Hasura also has a lot of permissions type stuff for us. And then on top of that, it's CI/CD friendly. I have all of this set up in configuration files in my database section, which I do put into my private repo because I realized there's just starting to get too much stuff that I didn't want available publicly. So the configuration, unfortunately, is there. And then whenever I push to the main branch in the database repo, that then updates my production Hasura, and it actually runs the metadata. It makes the changes. If I have any new, I'm creating migrations through Hasura too, so it can update the number of tables that I have. It just works. This looks kind of like a more open, standards-based version of Firebase. Ooh, that's nice. Well, anyway, so there's a reason why Hasura has got a lot of funding recently. It's because this is pretty amazing and awesome. Now, something that is quite negative, I reached out to them and because I'm using them at work and I wanted to see if they would support us for some other stuff. And if you want official support, then you need to, unless you're paying enterprise prices, which is really expensive, you're going to need to just use their Discord. Their Discord is their support. And I've had no luck. I think I've asked 2, maybe 3 questions there. And I'd say at least half the time, no responses to what it is. Not even asking for more data. And the other time was oh, let's look into that, and then never got back to me. So it's it's not not great support wise. But the fact that it's free is nice. That is a shame. That's support for companies is the hardest. And I understand that, but it kind of sucks. The other thing though is that there's no good competitors to this. Before Hasura, we used AWS AppSync for the same thing, and it sucked. AppSync works really good if you don't have complex sort of relationships between things. This handles relationships between tables extremely well. And then on top of that, their help is okay. Their help documents are good until you want to do something really, really, really complex. And then it just sort of falls apart and you have to just sort of do a lot of digging and figuring out yourself. They support, let's see. Oh, here it is. They support for databases, Postgres, Postgres-like databases. So all of these. I hadn't even looked at all of these recently. Let's see, what else? MS SQL, so Microsoft SQL Server, which I've never used. BigQuery, Athena, which is nice because Athena is pretty powerful. Snowflake is huge. So in case you have a data lake and you need to use Snowflake, that's a pretty big one. MariaDB, MySQL, and Oracle are in alpha. And then when I was talking to their sales team, they told me that this is going to be. They told me it's going to be enterprise only. Now, here in the documentation, it says available on I look cloud free standard cloud. Okay, so self-hosted. So it's not going to be available for self-hosted like me. So like I could never use MySQL connectors. But if I used it on the cloud or a self-hosted enterprise, which is I need a lot of money coming in to support that. Because they told me it's going to be somewhere around $2,000 a month. And that is I'm pretty far away from that. But they have like a standard cloud systems. Like you can go to Hasura Cloud and host your stuff on their servers if you want. I'm hosting it myself though. So you could use this as a service you pay with a Cloud DB as a service and a website on an S3 bucket, so you don't need an admin your own servers. Exactly, yeah. So if you have money, you can have them host it, and I think it's something like $15 per Hasura instance. Whereas for me, I can do 15 Hasura servers on like a single VPS and not have to pay any extra for it. But that's the difference between self-hosting and not self-hosting. I'm using ECS right now to host it, so I'm getting kind of the best of both worlds. But it ends up being around the same. It ends up being slightly cheaper because I'm using a really cheap. I'm using Fargate for it, but it's there's some, like, if I needed like a whole bunch of them, I could spin that up and do some other things with it. And I want to look into Fargate prepay too, because that'll bring the cost down quite a bit. But anyways, that's sort of like an introduction to Hasura here. And what were we working on here? You think a little VPS with Hasura and a database and Docker containers could be cool. Then if you need a server, you can Dockerize that and stuff it on the same server as well. Yeah, and then I think the absolute biggest thing like here is that we can have Hasura running on the local system as we do development. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Oh no, it's perfectly fine. Like part of the stream is to like also be able to answer these questions. Like, how can I teach if I can't answer questions live? So it's all good. It's definitely good. Let me create the file here, and then we'll have to bring it to a close because I'm gonna have to go off to my day job. But what was the next thing? It was gonna be. I am getting okay. So we got the LMS articles, right? So get LMS article titles. That was that. And then this other one is this one. Okay, LMS article courses by PK. So let me copy you. We do LMS courses by PK JSON, and that's we'll do that one next time. So all right, let's all right, what do we have here? We have, I guess we're updating tests to have a single GraphQL interceptor. All right, I'll push that up. Now I didn't make any changes to the component library. It's part of LMS, and I didn't make any changes to the database, so I think we're good now. All right, so that's pushed up. That's all good to go, and I think that's it. All right, I don't need cat cam looking up there. I'll put it back. All right, so with that being said, I will be back tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. Mountain Time. We'll continue working on this. I think we're gonna be probably all day or all morning working on this. I only get to stream about an hour and a half or so before I have to head off to my day job. And it's a sprint day today when there's like a big demo happening. So it's like lots of important things. So I need to go prepare for that. So anyways, everybody, I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much, Londo. And I will see you next time. Bye.